So, folks, the president of the United States, who apparently is still Donald Trump and or Elon Musk, gave a speech that was like 2 hours long, where he jerked himself off all over the American people, and it was disgusting and full of lies. And he also may have incriminated the federal government in court with statements about how Elon Musk is in charge of Doge, something that directly contradicts what the government's lawyers have been arguing in court. So um, that's actually pretty funny, and in fact has already led to official filings in court. Plaintiffs in one lawsuit against Doge have alerted the court to President Trump's remarks tonight, calling Elon Musk the head of the office. And yeah, that's just that's interesting. And the legal shitstorm that is gonna like roll downhill from that statement alone is going to absolutely destroy the government lawyers who are trying to defend Donald Trump's position, and that's only good for us. So take from that what you will. And of course, in response to Donald Trump's early State of the Union. Why is it early? Well, because he just passed the tariffs today and they went into effect, and he wanted to give a speech before people got really, really mad about the tariffs. Because right now, a lot of places are coasting along on the supply that they've already got. Prices aren't going to instantly go up, but they are going to go up pretty soon. So, yeah. It's clear he wanted to do a State of the Union before the actual State of the Union.
Can put fuel in the engine for the riverboat.
True, Simric. Thank you for the $5 super chat. And we do need more donos and subs in the engine for the riverboat to function. So we're going to take a look at the substance of the speeches and statements put out by the Democrats. And of course, these come in a variety of different forms, but we're going to look at kind of the mainstream Democrat response, which was presented by Elissa Slotkin. And we're going to check out Senator Bernie Sanders' response. And we're going to check out AOC's response. I feel like that kind of gets us, a good spread of kind of what the two different main factions of the Democrats are actually doing. Okay? So let's take a look.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elissa Slotkin. I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak tonight. It's late, so I promise to be a lot shorter than what you just watched. I won't take it personally if you've never heard of me. I'm the new senator from the great state of Michigan, where I grew up. I've been in public service my entire life because I happened to be in New York City on 9/11 when the Twin Towers came down. Before the smoke cleared, I knew I wanted to make a life in national security. I was recruited by the CIA and did 3 tours in Iraq alongside the military. In between, I worked at the White House under President Bush and President Obama, 2 very different leaders who both believed that America is exceptional. You can find that same sense of patriotism here in Wyandotte, Michigan, where I'm speaking from tonight. It's a working class town just south of Detroit. President Trump and I both won here in November. It might not seem like it, but plenty of places like this still exist across the United States. Places where people believe that if you work hard and play by the rules, you should do well and your kids should do better. It reminds me of how I grew up. My dad was a lifelong Republican, my mom a lifelong Democrat, but it was never a big deal because we had shared values that were bigger than any one party. We just went through another fraught election season. Americans made it clear that prices are too high and that the government needs to be more responsive to their needs. America wants change, but there's a responsible way to make change and a reckless way.
Oh boy. I love when already at a minute and a half we're conceding ground to our adversaries.
And we can make that change without forgetting who we are as a country and as a democracy. So that's what I'm going to lay out tonight. Because whether you're from Wyandotte or Wichita, most Americans share three core beliefs: that the middle class is the
Whether you're from what in Wichita?
most Americans share three core beliefs: that the middle class is the engine of our country, that strong national security protects us from harm, and that our democracy, no matter how messy, is unparalleled and worth fighting for. Let's start with the economy. Michigan literally invented the middle class, the revolutionary idea that you could work at an auto plant and afford the car you were building. That's the American dream. And in order to expand and protect the middle class, we have to do a
Man, what a pathetic interpretation of what America dreams of, you know? Like, oh man, you work at a plant and can afford the thing you make at the plant? That's the epitome of the American dream? Are you kidding me? How cheaply they describe our ideals.
few basic things. We need to bring down the price of things we spend the most money on: groceries, housing, healthcare. We need to make more things in America with good-paying union jobs and bring our supply chains back home from places like China. We need to give American businesses the certainty they need to invest and create the jobs of the future. And we need a tax system that's fair for people who don't happen to make $1 billion. Look, the president talked a big game on the economy.
How I'm real sorry. How is this the response? How have you managed to find the most tone deaf, out of touch response one could possibly muster to this? This is like it was designed in a lab for being milk toast. Like you could have recorded this response at like any point in the last like 20 years in American politics and like just put this out there. Like it's insane. The Democratic leadership is insane.
But it's always important to read the fine print. So, do his plans actually help Americans get ahead? Not even close. President Trump is trying to deliver an unprecedented giveaway to his billionaire friends. He's on the hunt to find trillions of dollars to pass along to the wealthiest in America.
No, like don't describe it like this. People don't respond to this language. He's trying, like, just say it bluntly. He's trying to steal from you. He's trying to steal from the elderly and the infirm, people he thinks are targets in our society, to give that money from the elderly, from the infirm, the money keeping them alive, to the richest people to ever exist on the planet. Like, stop sugarcoating this shit.
And to do that, he's going to make you pay in every part of your life. Grocery and home prices are going up, not down, and he hasn't laid out a credible plan to deal with either of those. His tariffs on allies like Canada will raise prices on energy, lumber, and cars, and start a trade war that will hurt manufacturing and farmers. Your premiums and prescriptions will cost more because the math on his proposals doesn't work without going after your health care. Meanwhile, for those keeping score, the national debt is going up, not down. And if he's not careful, he could walk us right into a recession. And one more thing. In order to pay for his plan, he could very well come after your retirement, the Social Security, Medicare, and VA benefits you worked your whole life to earn. The president claims he won't, but Elon Musk just called Social Security the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time. While we're on the subject of Elon Musk, is there anyone in America who is comfortable with him and his gang?
You had time to write this. like, you have people you pay full time to pay attention to what's happening in the political space, right? Why are you not referencing specific things he's done? Like, specifically that he is slashing the Social Security Administration by like 60% in order to subvert Congress and destroy its ability to actually, you know, grant, checks to people, the thing it's supposed to do. They're trying to get around Congress by cutting programs in de facto ways. Like, I don't know, like, say the things.
Of 20-year-olds
This is also
using their own
vague.
computer servers to poke through your tax returns, your health information, and your bank accounts. No oversight, no protections against cyber attack, no guardrails on what they do with your private data. We need a more efficient government. You want to cut waste? I'll help you do it. But change doesn't need to be chaotic or make us less safe. The mindless firing of people who work to protect our nuclear weapons, keep our planes from crashing, and conduct the research that finds the cure for cancer, only to rehire them 2 days later? No CEO in America could do that without being summarily fired.
Also, don't even give him the credit. Stop saying like, oh, without rehiring them days later. You don't have to add that, because in a lot of cases they weren't able to rehire these people.
Okay, so we've talked about economic security. How about national security? Let's start with the border. As someone who spent my whole career protecting our homeland, every country deserves to know who and what is coming across its border. Period. Democrats and Republicans should all be for that. But securing the border without actually fixing our broken immigration system is dealing with the symptom and not the disease. America is a nation of immigrants. We need a functional system keyed to the needs of our economy that allows vetted people to come and work here legally. So I look forward to the president's plan on
She does
that.
look like discount Katie Britt.
Because
it's
here's
true.
the thing. Today's world is deeply interconnected. Migration, cyber threats, AI, environmental destruction, terrorism. One nation cannot face these issues alone. We need friends in all corners, and our safety depends on it. President Trump loves to say peace through strength. That's actually a line he stole from Ronald Reagan. But let me tell you, after the spectacle that just took place in the Oval Office last week, Reagan must be rolling in his grave.
I'm so tired. Like, who is this for? Who is this for? Genuine question. Who is this for? Why are you trying to like act like Democrats care about the spirit of Ronald Reagan? Ronald Reagan sucks. Why are you trying to appeal to Republicans? Appeal to your goddamn base. Appeal to like the actual fight. Like, if Republicans are disaffected from Donald Trump, they will join the resistance against him. We don't have to like massage their egos by pretending we like Ronald Reagan. And I say we, but of course, Democrats like Elissa Slotkin love Ronald Reagan because, they're conservative Dems. God.
We all want an end to the war in Ukraine. But Reagan understood that true strength required America to combine our military and economic might with moral clarity.
My anger is very high right now. It's honestly shocking to me how tone deaf this is. I Dog, what are you doing? Why are you glazing Ronald Reagan in 2025? What possible advantage do you think this gives you anywhere? Even like liberals don't like Ronald Reagan. Oh my God.
And that scene in the Oval Office wasn't just a bad episode of reality TV. It summed up Trump's whole approach to the world. He believes in cozying up to dictators like Vladimir Putin and kicking our friends like the Canadians in the teeth. He sees American leadership as merely a series of real estate transactions. As a Cold War kid, I'm thankful it was Reagan and not Trump in office in the 1980s. Trump would have lost us the Cold War. Donald Trump's actions suggest that in his heart, he doesn't believe we're an exceptional nation. He clearly doesn't think we should lead the world. Look, America is not perfect, but I stand with the majority of Americans who believe we are still exceptional, unparalleled. And
the belief in the exceptionality of America is what got us here. The belief that it couldn't happen here, the belief that fascism couldn't happen here, was incorporated into American exceptionalism because we were exceptional in all things and we were an exception from the tendency towards fascism because our entire thing was that we helped to defeat the Nazis. That belief was wrong. You know, the belief that fascism couldn't happen here turned out not to be wrong. It turned out to be wrong. We have a fascist in office right now.
I would rather have American leadership over Chinese or Russian leadership any day of the week. Because for generations, America has offered something better. Our security and our prosperity, yes, but our democracy, our very system of government, has been the aspiration of the world. And right now, it's at risk. It's at risk when the president decides you can pick and choose what rules you want to follow, when he ignores court orders and the Constitution itself, or when elected leaders stand by and just let it happen. But it's also at risk when the president pits Americans against each other, when he demonizes those who are different and tells certain people they shouldn't be included. Because America is not just a patch of land between two oceans. We are more than that. Generations have fought and died to secure the fundamental rights that define us. Those rights and the fight for them make us who we are. We're a nation of strivers, risk takers, innovators, and we are never satisfied. That is America's superpower. And look, I've lived and worked in many countries. I've seen democracies flicker out. I've seen what life is like when a government is rigged. You can't open a business without paying off a corrupt official. You can't criticize the guys in charge without getting a knock at the door in the middle of the night. So as much as we need to make our government more responsive to our lives today, don't for one moment fool yourself that democracy isn't precious and worth saving. But how do we actually do that? I know a lot of you have been asking that question. First, don't tune out. It's easy to be exhausted, but America needs you now more than ever. If previous generations had not fought for this democracy, where would we be today? Second, hold your elected officials, including me, accountable. Watch how they're voting. Go to town halls and demand they take action. That's as American as apple pie. Third, organize. Pick just one issue you're passionate about and engage.
You know, all of this has been absolute and total horseshit, but at the very least, this call to action is good to see. This call to action is at least an attempt, however uninspiring, to get people involved in their local political scenes and state level and national level political scenes. You know, like, that's good to see. Because the Dems need to activate their base. And like, this is one of the ways to do it. It's not cool. They aren't doing it well. But, you know, maybe this is something. Maybe maybe it means we can do something with this.
And doom scrolling doesn't count. Join a group that cares about your issue and act. And if you can't find one, start one. Some of the most important movements in our history have come from the bottle up. In closing, we all know that our country is going through something right now. We're not sure what the next day is going to hold, let alone the next decade. But this isn't the first time we've experienced significant and tumultuous change as a country. I'm a student of history, and we've gone through periods of political instability before. And ultimately, we've chosen to keep changing this country for the better. But every single time, we've only gotten through those moments because of two things: engaged citizens and principled leaders. Engaged citizens who do a little bit more than they're used to doing to fight for the things that they care about, and principled leaders who are ready to receive the ball and do something about it. So thank you tonight for caring about your country. Just by watching, you qualify as engaged citizens. And I promise that I and my fellow Democrats will do everything in our power to be the principled leaders that you deserve. Good night, everyone.
Oh, God. You know, this is marginally better than nothing. They keep saying get involved, and it's marginally better than nothing at all. So I do have to hand it to them that is the case. Everything about that was terrible, but I have to be honest, I wasn't expecting any kind of call to action, and the fact that they incorporated one, as limp and absolutely, you know, uninspiring as it was, exceeded my expectations. But yeah, if you are looking for someone to actually tell you where you can get involved, hey, that's me. You can join your DSA, join your local DSA chapter. Organize outside of the Democratic Party in order to achieve political goals. Join your local Dems and radicalize them. Preferably join your DSA and your local Dems, then you can influence on the outside and on the inside. You can do both at the same time. Really good idea to do that. You know, radicalize your local Democrats, activate them, get them involved in more, you know, left-leaning and progressive actions. And on top of that, folks, you can join like Tesla Takedown and protest Elon Musk in particular. In total, Elon's lost like over $100 billion as a result of protests. Okay, you can contribute to him losing another like $200 billion. Let's go. All right. Additionally, folks, go join an indivisible protest. They're popping up all across the country. In the past 4 days, 30 new local chapters have opened up in order to organize and demonstrate against Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and the billionaire cronies that are currently trying to control Washington, D.C. Organizing is really important, and I know for a fact that these preliminary stages in organizing, though hard, the more people we mobilize, the more people we have to do mass action. That's the entire name of the game. We want to mobilize locally, and then we want to mobilize into larger and larger groups to do larger and larger protests. You don't grow this out of nowhere, folks. You have to do the work. So please join DSA, your local Dems, your local indivisible protests. If you feel like doing extra, you know, do your Tesla takedown. And also, yeah, join just honestly a group of some kind. It's no longer enough to just sit back, absorb information, and be correct on issues. You have to do something with that information. God, if you have any questions, join the Discord, !Discord, and you can ask GamerG about any related DSA questions, and you can ask Dragonfly in the Discord about any related local dem questions. If you're having trouble finding your local dems, not GamerG, Dragonfly can help you. Okay? There you go. I just told you, let's get to work. All right?